What is going on, guys? This is Versus All Gaming with my review of Hamatora episode 8. And this episode, even though we just lost Art, this episode I definitely liked it a lot. And it was kind of sad to see the way that Morale is now using Art's body with his own minimum. I find that, so disrespectful, but at least the character is still around in a sense. I just hate that he being used by this bastard right here. So the episode, it starts off with us once again seeing our death, and it's still as painful as the first time that we saw it. And we see now that Nice, he is still trying to get in touch with Art, and we see that Morale, he actually takes the form of Art, and he answers the call. And when we see them talking right away, Nice, he kind of notices that something is very wrong. And he would ask Art that, but Morale, he is very quick to get off the phone. And we see now that he's sitting here with this woman. And I'm pretty sure this is our first time seeing her, because I'm pretty sure that if we would have saw her, then I would have remembered her, but I don't. So we see now that he has this assistant, and we see, or we should know, that whenever Morale actually works with somebody, it really doesn't end well. So the fact that this woman is working with him, I do kind of fear for her, or maybe she is special, and maybe Morale won't get rid of her. But apparently, she's gonna handle Art's body, so she's gonna get rid of it, and we have Morale here now using Art for whatever reason. And so we have Murasaki, who actually wants to get a towel, so because he knew that Nice, he's gonna be very wet when he came back, because he didn't know how long he was staying in the rain. And so he wanted to go out there and find him and dry him off so that he wouldn't get sick. But then we learned from Nico, I believe that's her name. We actually never heard that they now have a job. And we see that Ray and Theo, they're actually back, and we have Art and Murasaki on the trip now, as they are pretending to be a student and a teacher again. And so we learned that this guy that's hiring them, he actually wants to find this guy that's putting this drug out on the street called Ideal. And what it does, it put you to sleep, and it traps you in this awesome happy dream, and you never wake up from that no matter what you do. And so this guy, he wants to find the one that's responsible for this. But here's the twist here. The guy that actually making this Ideal is actually his own brother. So his own brother's kind of up to no good right now. And so it was definitely hilarious, the way that, that basically everybody considered Theo being weak, because he lost to Nice at some card game. And then we had Murasaki, playing this stern teacher role. But when they were explaining, the job to them and telling them, why they were pretending to be student teacher again, it was so hilarious the way that Theo was reacting, calling Hamatora, very sneaky. But he was right though. He was definitely not wrong. And so once they land in Okinawa, because that's actually where they're going, we see that right away they actually hit the beach. And I'm not gonna lie, Ray in that bikini, she actually looked pretty good. That right there I definitely cannot deny. And we see that Theo, he trying to play, we see that he made this gigantic body in the sand, pretending he had muscles. But quickly, their fun is rather ruined by these group of thugs that were definitely based on the parody, I would say, the way that they were posing when they were bending back. I'm pretty sure that right there was a One Piece reference, because the character Boa, she actually does that. And the leader of these thugs, he actually reminded me of another character, appearance wise, from Danganronpa. So I'm not sure if that right there were references, or maybe it was just a coincidence. But more than likely, I'm going to say that those right there were references, and they were actually pretty good ones. I definitely enjoyed that a lot. And so now they got basically trying to run the kids out of here, and we see that when one of the students actually stand up to these guys, he actually get punched in the face. But eventually it all comes down to it's a triumphalon where they'll settle the score. And Theo actually wants to do this because he feels like they can win, but as long as they have Nice with them. So it's Theo once again have to depend on somebody else, and so he actually wants to get Nice to run into this. And so we see that Murasaki and Nice, they're actually out together and they're shopping, and we see that Hajime, she had wanted Nice to buy her some bitter melon patties, but he could not find them no matter where he had looked. And so eventually, they start, going on their job, and they're trying to find this guy, and eventually, you know, it does work and it pays off because just like one guy offered them a chance to escape into paradise, and from that, they were able to find out where this guy lived. And so apparently, you know, Nice here, he can see this like aura, or he can sense this aura coming from Theo that he's not doing so well in school. So he actually used that to his advantage. But it was hilarious, you know, how Theo was like butting in and trying to figure out, you know, what this aura was and how he could see it himself. And that right there, you know, to like really crack me up some. But when they eventually, you know, track this guy down, we actually see that he also took this ideal drug himself. And in his dream, the animation was a little bit weird. I'm pretty sure that they had did it on purpose, but I do wish that they would have did it, you know, like the standard episode is. Like I understand that it's a dream and all, but they should have kept this beautiful animation that, you know, the series has, rather than like downgrading it some for a dream. But in this dream, I also noticed like another reference character as well, Seymour from like Final Fantasy. And the guy that came out to him, like this Demon King, I'm pretty sure that, you know, that is also like another reference to a series. But for some reason, I cannot think of it at the moment. But now that like this guy is in his own dream, he basically useless at this point. But we finally have Theo asking Nice about this triathlon, and he does turn him down at first. But when he sees that the prize for winning is a year worth of bitter melon patties, he quickly changed his mind and joined. And then we have that thug guy come back, and he also got help. But it wasn't help from only, you know, Birthday and Raito. He also got Honey and 3 involved, and that right there was like definitely hilarious. I did like the way that Raito and Birthday, how they were like mocking like the gang by doing the same pose that they do. That birthday was definitely a nice touch. But on the day of the triathlon, Theo is not even in it. Like, he has Nice doing everything. And you can tell that, you know, Ray did kind of get, you know, somewhat disappointed in him that he relies on Nice so much. I could tell that from when he first mentioned him, you know, competing for them. But we see that when the triathlon starts. Oh, and by the way, that information worker guy, like, surprisingly, he was the host here, and that right there, you know, really surprised me, because it's like, what in the world was he doing all the way out here? But he was the host, and when the event started, we have Honey, who actually used her body to her advantage, because she was acting like her bikini top was like coming undone. And it was a smart plan, actually, because it definitely gave her and 3 the lead, and it distracted everybody else. We even saw Birthday get a nosebleed, and that right there just had me dying laughing. But once y'all get into the water, we see that Birthday is actually going to use his power to like give them all, you know, a very light stun. But 3 here quickly come back because there's no way he'll let anything hurt Honey. But sadly, you know, they both get disqualified, because apparently this host thought that 3 was Birthday pet, he was a dog, but, you know, 3 said that he more like a cat. And then we have Raito, who had withdrawn because he was taking care of some of the competitors. But eventually, Honey actually, you know, had to lead for like most of the race, or at least that's what it seems, because we see that you know, she now has to wait for everybody else to get there. But then we see that, you know, Nice, he's there as well, and he actually eating this like bitter melon stir fry, because they could all, you know, like take a break and eat while they wait for all the other competitors. But some of them eat a little bit too much, because we see that the leader of the thugs, he actually ate too much and he got very full, so he had also quit. But there's something that I almost forgot to mention, is that we have Murasaki, you know, actually, you know, watching over the guy that like made Ideal. And we learned that, you know, Murasaki, he is definitely jealous of Nice. That right there, I wasn't expecting, but, you know, he does have every right to feel this way, because he says so himself that he was always number 1, and he only started losing, you know, when Nice came into the picture, and that right there is when he started being on like on a losing streak. But, you know, his words, they were definitely, you know, reaching out to the guy. And you could tell that like these two, they are on, you know, the same boat. But rather than like run away from reality like this guy did, Murasaki is standing there and he's actually fighting it. So when this like battle starts between them, you know, and the bitter melon, we see that, Nice and Honey, they're the only ones left. And Honey thought she could win because, she had a power, so obviously, that would give her an advantage. But it seems that this device she uses, it's not waterproof in seawater, so it did short circuit. And that right there, gave Nice the win. But we have this other competitor, Murasaki. He had made his way in there, and eventually, it was just him and Nice left. And I'm not gonna lie, even though they did not use their powers, their fight, it was definitely good. The animation, it was definitely it was definitely done well at that part. I gotta say, I enjoyed their fight a lot. And I'm not gonna lie here, I would have liked Murasaki to win, but of course, with like Nice being the best, that's not possible. But we see that the guy and his brother, the one that had made Ideal, he actually came there and seeing the way that like Murasaki was fighting, and I'm pretty sure that he was recalling his words that he said. It eventually woke him up, and so with Nice winning now, things should be happy. Things should be ending on a happy note. But that right there wasn't the case, as we had the guy that like made Ideal being kidnapped, but they did not get that far, as Nice would like chasing him on a bike, and it was just so epic how fast Nice is, because at one point we like see him snapping his fingers to make the sound wave, and then out of nowhere you just see him like kicking into the car and hitting one of the guys kicking one of the guys in the back of the head, and then out of nowhere they just go flying off the road into the sea. That right there was like pretty freaking epic. And then we have Murasaki as well, using his own minimum holder, where it like increased his strength by a lot, and he picked up the car with ease, and he even got mad by saying, "Don't litter in the ocean." But now everything is all right, and we have these brothers here who are now arguing about one surpassing the other and calling them idiots. But I gotta say, just like this moment here, it was definitely touching. I definitely like the way that Nice and Murasaki are. I like their friendship, and I definitely like their rivalry. I do hope at some point that Murasaki will get some win over Nice. I'm not seeing like in a fight wise, but maybe in some other competition, because Murasaki, he definitely deserves it. His character as well, like his character is pretty done well. He's not letting like the jealousy get to him, and he's not hating Nice. They're just like two really good friends. I love the way that they work so well together. But on the final day that they were leaving, we had Theo and that thug guy. They were like making up, and we have Nice here doing some last minute shopping for Art. And we actually go to Art, and we see that he's with his partner. So I was kind of wrong here about the way that Morale power work. I thought that he had to kill the person to like take their appearance, but it seems that right there is not the case, because we saw that his partner, Guy Suke, we see that he actually alive. So it's obvious that right there is not how powers work though. But we see Morale with his assistants, and they're like working on these bodies right now. So clearly he is giving people these like minimum holders, but we don't know what they do just yet. But that right there, I do wonder what in the world is Morale planning, especially with all these people. I thought that once he had planted the forbidden minimum holder into somebody, I thought that right there might be it, but it seems that right there is not the case. But I do wonder, who will get it. But overall, this episode, I did enjoy it a lot. I am still sad that like Art is gone, but overall, this episode, it was definitely pretty good. But as always, please do not forget to like the video and subscribe, because that really helps me out. And you guys take it easy, and I'll see you all next time.